Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you coming on short notice. This is obviously Sheriff mentioned a tragic event happened yesterday, and I'm going to walk you through the timeline. The date of the incident was June 10, 2021. The incident occurred at the Publix, specifically in the produce section, 1180 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard in the village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida. The time of the incident was 11:35 a.m. Thursday morning. The victims, as we know, we're not going to be providing names at any time because they're protected by Marcy's Law. One female was 69 years old, and the baby was 1 year old. The suspect has been identified. We shared that with you yesterday as Timothy Jameson Wall. He's a white male, born 12/6 of 65. He's 55 years old. He lives in Loxahatchee, Florida, and he was born in the state of New York. We will be providing you with that chronological at the end. So what happened is, first call came in to 911 at 11:35 a.m. about shots being fired inside the Publix. The first unit was dispatched. A call was automatically put at 11:36 a.m. with the first unit arriving on scene at 11:39. The deputies entered the store, and by the time they arrived around 11:39 or 11:40 to find the two victims dead and the suspect also dead. Detectives came on scene from the Violent Crimes Division and took over the investigation after Road Patrol secured the area. We interviewed in excess of 30 people inside the store. Some of them were visual witnesses, some of them were auditory witnesses. We obtained all the information we could from them. We recovered the video with the assistant of Publix and examined all the videos of the entire incident and the entryway of both the victim and the suspect. We see that at 11:07 a.m., the victims enter the Publix, grabs a shopping cart, one of those little cars with a wheel, and take her grandchild to start shopping inside the store. At 11:29 a.m., the suspect enters the store. He was holding a golf putter, and he's using it as a stick, almost like a walking stick. At 11:30, the victim enters the produce section and starts shopping. She leaves the cart in front of her, and she's walking, looking at items. The suspect at 11:31 a.m. enters the produce section, and you can see he's looking towards the victim. He approaches her around 11:34 when he pulls out his gun. He walks over from behind one aisle to the next, where the child was parked in his little shopping cart. He takes out his gun and he fires one round, killing the child. The grandma instinctively jumps in and trying to stop him. She struggles with him. His gun jams. He was able to overpower her, push her down to the ground, and he shoots her down while she's on the ground. The suspect then moves around and takes out his own same gun he had in his hand, goes behind where he started, and he shoots himself, killing himself in the head. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue was requested to come to the scene. They entered and declared all three the two victims and the suspect dead. As far as the suspects, what we did as far as investigation is still ongoing. We're pursuing every angle possible. We have him entering the Walgreens that same day at 8:07 a.m. We also have him come into the same Publix at 9:02 a.m. and he made a purchase. At that time, there was a uniformed deputy in the store making a purchase himself, and the suspect left shortly after. He did drive a red scooter that he drove from, I believe, his house to the location, and that was recovered in the parking lot. There are no cameras in the parking lot itself to show if they have any interaction in the parking lot prior to entering the store, but we do have everything else documented, and that's the sequence of event. Sheriff?
Okay, folks, look, I want you to focus in on what I'm getting ready to say. This tragedy fits the profile across the United States on when these things happen. And here's what I'm talking about. A, somebody knew about it, that bad things were going to happen with this guy. And number two is, obviously, there's some mental unstableness involved in this. The FBI just released a report that those are the two major factors in all of these type of tragedies. The real sad part of this, other than the fact that two people are dead, is that there was a chance this could be stopped. You know why? The reason is, he's on Facebook. He has said, I want to kill people and children. He's got friends. Obviously, they saw that. His ex-wife said he's been acting strange. He thinks he's being followed. He's paranoid. You think a damn soul told us about that? No. And if it sounds like I'm angry, I am, because if somebody would have gotten involved and called us on the phone and said, hey, this may not be anything, but it may be something, because this person is talking about bad things and he's acting strange. That's why I have a behavioral sciences unit, to be able to stop these type of things. We have the red flag law where we can take the firearm once we find the people. So that's how this could have been prevented. If somebody would have let us know who he is, we would have contacted him, see if he's got a gun, get him into mental health, and you wouldn't have 2 people dead. That's how it's supposed to work, and that's how it can work if people will only get involved. When I testified in front of the United States Senate, the reason I was there is because we have a model program. They know it can work. In fact, Rick Scott called me yesterday and he goes, you know, this law was put in place just for this. And it was. It's not to take guns away from people. It's to get the guns out of hands of people like this that shouldn't have them. So I guess that's what I'm angry about, is this didn't have to happen. If people could have called us and said, hey, saw it on Facebook. It's not normal to say I want to kill people and children. And of course, the family, they saw him acting in a strange manner. So somebody needs to get involved, people need to get involved, and we need to wake up to this problem so a whole bunch of people don't get killed across this country. All right, folks, we'll take some questions.
Sheriff, good afternoon. Ryan Hughes with WPTV. Do you happen to know if the gun that was recovered was registered to the shooter, and do you know when that gun was purchased?
We're in the process of tracking that right now. We believe we know who it was originally sold to. How this individual came in contact with it will depend on what the original person that bought it will tell us. So we're doing some tracing on that. We should have more information on that within a day or two.
To follow up on that, do you know if there's any way that the victim's family knew Mr. Wall in any kind of way?
Right now, we don't. But that, you know, we got a lot more talking to do. This is a very fluid investigation. We're following up on every single source, talking to every single person. But right now, we don't find a connection between him and the family. Anybody else?
Sheriff Jay,
Okay,
Sheriff
Go
Jay
ahead.
O'Brien with CBS 12 News, and forgive me if this was said, but I just want to make sure that we have the right facts here. Are you guys saying that the first time the suspect interacted with the victims, to your knowledge, was inside the Publix when he shot them?
That is the information we have at this point. That doesn't mean it can't change after we talk to more people and do more interviews, but that's what we believe right now based on our initial investigation.